think that, I mean, there's other houses being built over here in a more, I was going to say traditional, but more conventional style. Do you think they have similar communal feel in those estates or parts of the estate?
No, because they don't meet each other before.
Okay. Yeah.
They just, because there's 131 dwellings being built over there
Down
across the road, and I think the housing have 30 or 40, and I think it's 11 are shared ownership ones. And I went over there yesterday to see two families and a single man prospective tenants, and because this has worked so well with meeting your neighbours before you move in, the housing in the Barnstable office have decided where possible they will try and sign up groups of tenants so that are in the same row or the same block, so that they actually get to meet each other. And I thought that was quite good yesterday. There's sort of two families and this single guy.
So that's a good example of, obviously, to an extent there's a sustainably built environment here, but there's
sustainable community too.
Yeah, there's thought gone into how the community is going to sustain itself over the decades that are to come, which seems like quite a nice model to follow.
And what makes it even better, alright, I'm going to be really, really blow my own trumpet now. I was born in South Molton. I was a teacher for 28 years. I went to school with my next door neighbour. I went to school with some of the rest of them on site. I taught quite a lot of them, or I knew their parents when I lived here, or I went to school, so I actually wasn't hired until nearly the end of 2004, and people had already moved in before I came here, and yet there's only about half a dozen households that I really didn't know. So, you know, oh, Gail, it's you, brilliant. And Normandy Way, I also look after their communal gardens and try and include them in as much of our community stuff as I can. And I taught some of them as well, which is really scary. But it works well because they all know me, and they know I'm a nutcase, and they know that because I was a teacher before, I'm the sort of unpaid childminder in the school holidays. Well, they know that I'll keep an eye on the kids. You know, and tell them off if they're doing something they shouldn't be, or like I say, they follow me around and they
Bloody Gestapo.
they did bulb planting with me this autumn, and in the spring they planted all sorts of seeds, or sowed seeds.
So that's, I mean, it sounds like that's another aspect, is having people who are here within the community who are perhaps consistently around, and
we've only
presumably
had
here for a good long time in this similar sort of role, and helping maintain that or sustain that type of community, which seems important.
Because we've had the people in number 2 weren't here at the beginning, and you'll laugh. It's my ex-husband and his new wife, and the little girl the single mum that was allocated the house, she didn't like the idea of no carpets. Their house is the same size as this, so single mum, little tacker, she just felt overwhelmed by the size of the place, and so she wanted something small. My ex-husband, his wife and their daughter, they were in a tiny place where they couldn't sit down together and eat a meal, so they just did a mutual swap. So, and this is even worse. His wife used to be my son's babysitter. But, and then we had another couple move, but they went back to Ormskirk near Liverpool Way to go to university. And then a local couple from Barnstable that I taught lived in. Guy over the road, young couple had a baby in a 1-bed flat, so they moved across the road to Normandy Way. And a guy from Folkestone has got that one. Having said that, his mum and dad live in Lanky, which is towards Barnstable, and his sister lives at Chalacombe, which is on the edge of Exmoor. And then a family who were cramped in a house in Barnstable moved into one of the 4-bed houses, and that's the only movements we've had. Nobody else moved. Well, there are a couple of people who've got, as I say, got their houses up on the Home Swapper website, mostly with the issue of carpets, because they can't have carpets.